Today, we are going to look at History Paper 1, Section A, 25 marks. Give 2 reasons why the Akamba migrated from Mount Kilimanjaro area to search for new land for settlement, to escape from external attacks, to escape from natural calamities. Question 2. Give 2 reasons why Council of Elders among the Ameru was important before the establishment of colonial rule. It passed laws for the community. It administered justice. It acted as the highest court of appeal. 3. What was the main feature of the 1986 Anglo-German agreement? It was the division of the East African mainland into British and German spheres of influence. 4. State 1 reason why Africans were denied equal education opportunities with other races during the colonial period, to stop them from competing with Europeans for white-collar jobs. 5. Identify 2 skills that Africans were taught in the schools that were established by the colonial government: reading, writing, arithmetic. 6. State 2 reasons why the Taita Hills Association was formed in 1939 to fight for the return of their alienated land, to protest against the stocking policy, to protest against taxation, to protest against Kipande system. 7. State 2 changes that were effected after the Lennox-Boyd recommendations. African elected members of parliament were increased from 8 to 14. A second African cabinet minister, Musa Amalemba, was appointed. 8. State the pressure group Daniel Arap Moi and other nationalists formed in the LEGCO. African elected members organization, that is the AEMO. 9. Identify the government ministry Tomboya headed in the 1963 to 1964 period, Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. 10. State 2 ways in which Harambee practices have been abused. 1. Misappropriation of funds collected, forced contributions, unfair publicity for those involved in raising money. 11. Identify 2 responsibilities of a good citizen of Kenya: obedience to the laws of the land, readiness to defend the country from external aggression, reporting of lawbreakers to the authorities, participation in democratic process by voting, payment of taxes, good health practices, promoting the rule of law, contribution to national development for both morally and materially, being gender sensitive, taking care of the environment. Number 12. Identify 2 causes of international conflicts: border disputes, especially in areas where the members of the community have been divided or separated; economic rivalries between business people over sources of trade, goods, and markets. 13. Identify 2 categories of people who monitor violation or abuse of human rights in Kenya: the police, trade unions, religious groups, journalists, human rights lobby groups. 14. State the main parliamentary privilege enjoyed by MPs in Kenya: freedom of speech. They cannot be sued for whatever they have during parliamentary debates or within parliamentary buildings. 15. State 2 functions of a permanent secretary: supervises civil servants in his or her ministry, advises the minister on government policy, interprets government policy, provides sound financial management in the ministry. He is the professional head of a ministry. Section B, 45 marks. 16A. Identify 3 reasons for the migration and settlement of the Somali into Kenya. Somali migrated in search of better pasture for their livestock. Some of them migrated because of population pressure. Outbreak of diseases caused the Somali to migrate. Diseases also forced the Somali to migrate. In some cases, family and clan conflicts caused groups of Somali to migrate. 16B. Discuss the results of the migration and settlement of the Cushites in Kenya. They intermarried with other Kenyan communities. For example, the Borana intermarried with the Pokomo. Their settlement into Kenya brought conflicts and sometimes wars between them and other communities. Trading activities developed between them and other communities. There was cultural exchanges between them and other communities. Some communities became extinct through natural absorption by the Cushites. Some of the communities formed alliances in order to strengthen their resistance. The Redil and the Samburu allied Turkana. 17A, give 5 reasons for the Akamba resistance against the British. The British persistence after the establishment of an administration station at Machakos adversely affected the trade between the Akamba and the coast. The British interfered with their trading activities and resistance. 2. The British potters and Askari stole, raped women, and destroyed Akamba property. 3. The British had no respect at all for Akamba traditions. In 1890, the British administration, George Leith, committed religious sacrilege by cutting down a tree from a sacred place and using it as a flag force. 4. British attempts to stop Akamba raiding activities on the Gikuyu coast discontent. 5. The British forces who were stationed at their garrisons at Mwala and Makuyuni were unpopular among the local populations as they looted and raped women. Number 17B. Discuss the reasons for the failure of armed resistance against the British by Kenya communities. Number 1. Disunity among Kenyan communities. They at times fought for one another, thus giving room to the British to concentrate their soldiers in one area at a time and play one community against another. 2. Africans lacked modern weapons. Thus, while the British were using the machine gun, they used spears, bows, and arrows. 3. Africans warriors were not trained prior to their military encounters with the British. Instead, they were haphazardly gathered in times of need. 4. Some communities had been reduced in populations by epidemics. They were unable to offer effective resistance to the British. 5. Poor leadership. Some leaders were bribed with gifts to give up armed struggle. 18A, identify 3 women leaders who led their communities in the struggle against the establishment of colonial rule. Mekatilili wa Menza of the Giriama, 2 wa Kadhoka of the Akamba, 3 Murangiti of the Bagusi, 4 Siakalain Mbarungu of the Ameru.